Welcome to another episode of RezX, an Indigenous lifestyle show for everyone. My name is Cadmus Delorme.
And I'm your co-host, Erin Goodpipe. We have a great lineup for you guys today. It's tons of business stuff, starting off with Kendall Netmaker and Nietzsche Gear and Tonka Boutique.
Yes, they partner up.
Oh, yes.
We're also going to be talking with Creeland.
As well, we have the Dubois, we have Mike and Jen, Miwasan Salon, and Dub Photo.
We do have a documentary about foster care. This is our final episode in season 1.
Oh my gosh, it's been such a journey.
It's been awesome. I'm really happy that they signed your fine option hours
I
to do this.
I'm finally done, guys. I'm free. Well, got 90%.
But it's been fun. You know, we interviewed a lot of people. You know, the show's about laughter. You're still snaggable. 10 episodes in.
Learn how to make bannock too. I'm wifeable too now, domesticated.
Awesome. Well, I look forward to the 10th episode here.
Oh yes.
So with that, sit back and enjoy RezX.
Check it out.
Here we go. Our first story is on this episode's sponsor, Creeland Mini Mart, which is a gas station and convenience store in north central Regina, owned by the Paipot First Nation. Creeland has a lot of people that come and go for gas and cigarettes and for confectionery stuff. They give me enough gas to get here so I can do my recording. Thanks, Creeland. With that, check it out.
I'm Bev.
And I'm Marvin, and we've been in operation since 2008 here at Paipot First Nation Creeland Mini Mart. Well, actually, I'm a band member, and I wanted to work for my band store, and I prefer to work outdoors. The only conditions here is the weather. Sometimes it's raining, it's snowing, or it's just hot, but we put up with all challenges, and I actually enjoy it.
What motivated me to work in this kind of environment is the people. I really love to meet people.
Creeland has actually been self-sufficient. It's been going pretty good for the last 5 years, and there's actually plans on expanding it and making it more opportunities for people out in the community to come here, and if they ever want to apply and have a job here, then there's nothing that stops them from job creation. And it shows our people that we do and can operate a business in the city and be successful at it. Well, actually, it's good for an Indian business in the cities. It creates jobs for our people, and plus also it puts us on the map, knowing that our people are actually getting into the business factor of this world. And in the city of Regina, it's actually a good place for a start off, and it would also help other bands get into this kind of incentive and do this type of business, and it's actually quite lucrative. We would actually encourage people to stop by Creeland, come see our facilities, our service is professional. We greet people, and we also say goodbye when they're leaving, and it's good to see various different people from other bands coming here. Hopefully they might get some ideas to create their own stores in other towns and other cities that were, depending on the location of their bands and where they come from and what they have going. And as far as people here, it's always good to have different people coming here.
Our customers are our priority. Our customers come first. You're always welcome to Creeland.
Creeland. I just love the community feel. I love grabbing my gas and my tea in the morning there. Keeping up with the business theme, we have Nietzsche Gear Clothing and Tonka Boutique who partnered up. They now have a space in Regina. Check out our story.
Well, me and Jolie have actually known each other for quite a while through business planning competitions, and eventually we got to chatting of bringing Nietzsche Gear down here, so we test marketed through some wholesaling, and it was a hit. So more discussions came about, and eventually we decided to do a partnership where we basically take over half their store. So.
We represent the southern Saskatchewan, and I think Nietzsche Gear is more province-wide, so we wanted to kind of widen our market and get some of the younger audience to the boutique and make them more aware of that we're here in Regina. So we want to to make sure that we covered, you know, all of Saskatchewan. I think Nietzsche Gear does that, and not only Saskatchewan, but I think the reach is even as far as all provinces in Canada.
We recently expanded here to Regina, here at the Tonka Boutique, and we're doing our pop-up shop in Prince Albert as well. So there's lots of opportunities to expand, and we're working every day to expand into different provinces as well.
Honor the Buffalo Spirit, and by honoring our Buffalo Spirit, we're honoring artists that are working on traditional Indigenous art, that are working on kind of the handmade items, and more towards the art rather than the craft. And we have many artists in Saskatchewan that are doing so many things that we just want to be the place to showcase those artists. And to be the place that shows that we can, you know, make our own art here in Saskatchewan.
For those that don't know, I am in the firefighter calendar. No, I'm not. For those that don't know, I am a Nietzsche Gear role model. Nietzsche Gear does sponsor role models who do make a difference in the community. There are many. Search for them on Facebook, on other social networks. Nietzsche Gear, thank you for highlighting the ones that are making a difference. Moving on, our next story is on two entrepreneurs, a husband and wife, who took their hobbies and turned it into an entrepreneurship. Jen Dubois, who does Miwa Sin Salon, she does hair, and Michael Dubois, who does photography. It's called Dubs Photography. Check it out. I am sitting here with Jennifer Dubois, owner of Miwa Sin Salon. Hello, Jennifer.
Hi.
Jennifer is the second place winner of the Boombox CBC Entrepreneurship Challenge. She's also a recipient of the 2015 Proud Generation Calendar. So thank you for letting us come into Miwa Sin here and interview you.
Thank you.
So Jennifer, tell us what Miwa Sin is.
Mioswin.
Mioswin. Part-time Cree speaker here.
It means beauty in Cree. The reason why I went to university was because I wanted to eventually open up my own salon. Mm-hmm. I started to learn more about First Nation culture when it comes to hair. Hair is very sacred in a lot of tribes, because every tribe is different. People with long hair, like, they have a really, really hard time trying to go into a salon and trust somebody with their hair. And I've heard so many horror stories of people going in and they're asking for just a trim, and all of a sudden the stylist cuts off like 5-6 inches. So I've had a lot of clients come to me saying, this is my first time, you know, they're nervous, they just want to trim, and they tell me about the horror stories, and they're really happy when they leave. Another thing that I do too is I ask them if they like to take their hair home, and a lot of First Nation people keep their hair, and there's protocols, I guess, that they follow in their culture where they either burn their hair or they bury it, and that's ceremonial because they have to let that part of them go because they cut it off.
So where does your company plan on going in the future? What's the strategy moving forward?
I do want to expand the business. I want it to be a commercial business. I do see a lot of potential, and you know, I want to give back to my community. I want to hire First Nation stylists. There's a lot of them out there. Yes. You know, and I want to help them grow as well.
So if someone wants to contact Miwa Sin, is there certain places they can go to find out contact information?
Yeah, I have a Facebook page. It's just Mioswin Salon, MIYOSIWIN Salon.
Thank you, Jennifer.
Thank you
for sitting down with RezX. Thank you very much.
Thanks for having me.
So I'm sitting here with Michael Dubois, owner of Dub Photography. Michael is an alumni of First Nations University of Canada, valedictorian for his class. He's a recipient of the Proud Generation Calendar. During his undergrad, he's got many scholarships, and he's accomplished lots. So thanks, Dubs, for letting us sit down with you.
No problem.
So what made you get into photography?
It starts with a bit of a scary moment in my life. I got cancer in my throat, and it's called thyroid cancer. I had to take some time off of hockey and take up another hobby. So I've always been interested in photography and just started shooting and just getting used to the camera itself.
Someone sitting there watching this right now, they want to get into photography. What kind of steps can you provide to them?
It's all about developing your vision. It's all about learning to tell a story with your heart and your experience.
What does that feel to Mike Dubois when someone shares your photo on their Facebook?
It's cool. It's an honor. I try to be as humble as possible. So being able to give somebody a picture of themselves or their children or their special moment, it really helps me feel better about myself, because I'm adding value to their life in a subtle way. You know, it's a millisecond of time, but you know, for them it probably means a lifetime of happiness.
So where do you see dub photography moving into the future?
It's honestly, for me, it's a word of mouth business. My business plan is, you know, go to powwows, take pictures of people, and if they like that, then they seek me out and hire me for their weddings. They hire me for their corporate photography, and honestly, it keeps my workload at a manageable level. You know, I've got to compete with my wife in the salon and my kids in their activities, so it's just a matter of management of time.
Well, I just want to thank you. I just want to let the audience know that if anybody ever wanted to maybe get a family photo from Dub Photography, how can they contact Dub Photography?
I'm strictly word of mouth. I'm on Facebook. You know, ask your friends, ask your relatives.
Thank you for sitting down with RezX, and the best into the future.
It's all good, man. Thanks a lot.
Wow, Mike and Jen Dubois, they're such a power couple. For example, Mike, he did our awesome RezX photo shoot, and Jen, she does my hair from time to time, and they're both amazing. We always have such a great time. Stay tuned. Up next, we have Candy Renee Fox's documentary on children in the foster care. Feast your eyes on that.
Hi, my name is Bob Friedrich. I'm the host of Cruisin' on 7. We take you all over Saskatchewan and show you some of the coolest of rides and some of the best car shows around. Watch Cruisin' on 7 on Thursdays at 7, only on Access 7.
Welcome back. RezX's own Candy Renee Fox produced a documentary following Chris Martel's child, who he lost in the foster care. I must warn you, some of the content on this documentary is not suitable for all ages.
We're taking way too many children into care, and the system isn't working, hasn't been working for Aboriginal families and children. Now, the last 3 reports we've released, including this last one, were children dying in foster care. And that is never acceptable. That, in my view, that's never defensible that happens. But there are common underlying themes why that tends to happen in every investigation that we do.
My name is Chris Martel. I'm from Saskatoon, Saskatchewan, and I'm from Waterton Lake First Nation. My son passed away June 8th, 2010. It was in the evening. He passed away in Aberdeen, Saskatchewan, and he passed away in their overcrowded foster home. It's been a long 5 years because I was kept in the dark about his death. I had to find out how he died through the courts, through court testimony and through court documents and through a trial. That's how I found out the circumstances surrounding his death. And I found out circumstances of him being in the home, and how he got in that home is through the report released by Bob Pringle. That's how I found out, because the social services wouldn't reply to me for about 5 years.
In this particular case of the last report, in Mark's story, the in-home supports were not provided, in spite of the fact that the foster mom indicated she needed help, and some of the ministry staff of social services also felt she was struggling. They just didn't get their act together to place supports there. And then when you overcrowd a foster family and place, in this case, 5 children under the age of 4, and the ministry tried to actually place a 6th child there, then your bad things are going to happen. And that's what happened.
I had him that weekend before he passed away. He passed away on the Tuesday. I dropped him off Sunday with Eunice Woodrich, and she had 4 other toddlers with her, so including my son, that's 5. I called the Soul Services on Monday, wondering what's taken forever, because that home was overcrowded. I seen the toddlers, and then that Tuesday, I got a call from my mom saying Crisis Nursery is looking for me, and I wasn't there at the time, so they found a place where I was staying at, and then I called the mom to come meet me there. I didn't tell her why, and the Crisis Nursery showed up about 9:30, and they told me my son had drowned in Aberdeen, Saskatchewan. 2 days after that, we met with RCMP and the coroner, and all they told me was there was light scalding to his body, and that they don't know any more information. That was 2 days after he passed, and then I got his body the next day at the funeral home. The funeral home called me and told me, "You got to see your son. I don't think we can have an open casket." So I went to the funeral home, and I seen that he was burnt from head to toe, more than 3rd-degree burns. He was unrecognizable.
It's a situation where not only was non-compliance with policy, but even by the field staff, when it was brought to the management, there was also a non-compliance with policy. So that whole idea of the checks and balances with the more senior people, they dropped the ball as well.
As the Minister of Social Services, I offer my heartfelt condolences to Evander's family and friends, as well as this community. When a child comes into our care, this action is taken because the child's safety is at risk at home. We are entrusted with keeping that child safe from harm as we then work with the family to bring them back together again. In this instance, we failed.
Make sure the children who are now in care are safe, because you have to do that as well. Make sure the foster families are supported. Make sure that there's the casework planning standards are met, the contact standards. Make sure there aren't breakdowns there, right? Don't overload foster families. And then on the other side of it, start investing in greater supports to families earlier, before there's a crisis. That was the #1 recommendation of the Child Welfare Review. That's an investment. If you can keep a family together, that's an investment.
He should have been with his family. They should have been approved with his family. The home should have been, study would have been done quicker. Instead of taking their time, it took like a month and a half almost to do that report. I tried my hardest to get him out of that home. The mother got herself into school, and she took parenting classes. He would have been 7 years old today. And Cody would have had his brother, because he's only a year and a half younger, so Cody would have had his brother with him today. And to me, he was a little angel. He was a blessing. I just want to make sure this doesn't happen again. Like I said, I want my son's name not to be, I don't want him dying in vain. I want to know there's a reason for his death, and I know everything happens for a reason, and elders tell me that all the time, and I want to make sure that this tragedy ends here. No more tragedies like this happen again. As for me, I'm going to do a lawsuit against the Ministry of Social Services. My lawyer launched a lawsuit, and I'm going to fight the Social Services government.
A proud legacy, a
What a great episode. Our final episode of season 1.
Oh, and we had such a great lineup of all these awesome First Nations talents. We're just so rich.
Showcasing Creeland Mini Mart.
Oh yeah.
I like going to Creeland. You know, the staff is welcoming. It's an entrepreneurship. It benefits the community.
Oh yeah, and all those cackles in the morning always make me feel good. Remind me of Grandma.
Okay, what's a cackle?
Cadmus.
Okay, all right. Carry on. Then we move on to Mike and Jen.
Oh yeah, they're such an awesome power
great
couple.
Family, took a hobby, made it into a business. What's your hobby?
Cadmus. Well, I like to walk and run and
Let's
do
make that
some
into
stuff.
a business.
Yeah, I probably can. No,
Join Erin and walk. Pay, and she'll walk with you.
Okay.
And then we had Candy Renee Fox.
One of our very own.
Such a powerful documentary. True, the system does need to be addressed, you know, and that's where education comes in. That's where working with people. So great job, Candy. You know, all the best, and we got to move forward in a good way.
And I love how we're showcasing that with the arts. That's so amazing to see. We have such talent. I'm so happy.
That's good. This is our final episode of season 1. It's been fun. It's been fun.
Can you do the Kim Kardashian cry face?
Show me it first.
Okay, wait, no, not like that, but let's see it.
No.
I'm gonna pinch a nipple.
There. That's my cry. It's the best that I got. But you know, this is a good show. You know what I found out? RezX. Rez stands for, you know, First Nation people after signing a treaty. You know, we live on reservations. That was left in, you know, that was left for the First Nations to continue it. X. The X on X from signing a treaty. But you know, for this show here, you know, I hope they call us for next season.
Oh yeah.
It's been a blast.
It's been so much fun. And wait, tell me, how do you say film?
Film.
Can you repeat that, guys? Film. But as they say in Indian country, guys, we will be back. And in my culture, Dakota Sioux, we say Doksha. So see you later.
See you later. See you soon. It's been fun.
See you guys.
Some stuff because we're going to do some behind the scenes stuff like for a future episode.
See all of the athletes' excited faces. Let's continue. Why did you make that face? Just blah 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 blah. To make this show work, a lot couldn't. And when we went looking for music, we came along the beats of Shane Keepness, who is also on his journey to getting his PhD. Blah, blah, blah.
Just that. Music.
That's just something you can just
Oh,
anywhere.
man, caught me picking my INAC teeth here.
So happy that we have such native talent coming to us. There's a fly on my face, sorry.
Flies don't lie.
I know these two are academics, so I'm kind of not really so, but if there's anything that I major in, it's looking good.
Amazing. Stay tuned.
So there you go, Bannock 101.
Woohoo! Well, thank you so much, Roger. I'm excited to eat this.
Jared Crow, crazy scientist, filmmaker, hard at work, getting stuff ready.
We're supposed to be bilingual.
And I hear Chris Ross is cooking bologna somewhere, so.
Okay, yeah. We'll get to
Taking a big bite.
Take a shrug. Look.
Oh.
Okay, let's go for the win now. Which one first?
Zoom in on this.
Point.
Left. Oh! Oh man. That's like it's like Morse code. Yeah. SOS. Yeah.
This is Erin reporting live at Stepping Stones Career Fair. I'm with Rebecca Sangways, the Aboriginal Career. Oh, I got it wrong. Okay. She is the Aboriginal. I gotta do it. Okay. Aboriginal student. I can't do it. Yeah, no, like just a little tiny girl trying to run after like burglars.
What's that?
I call that a draw.
What's that?
That's the worst case.
I think that's. I don't think we would have made the fire in time.
No, I think we would have been towed.
Okay, let's do this. Last take, episode 10, segment 1013. In 5, 4, 3, action.
Priceless. Kevin, so how do you say his last name? Westaquate. Kevin Westaquate and Zoe Priceless. Priceless. Westaquate. Priceless. Sessaquate. Kevin Westaquate. Westaquate. Sakewiwak. I've heard that word before. How come I've heard that word before? Are they kind of famous? Sakewiwak and Sakewiwak. What is Sakewiwak? Oh, Sakewiwak and Sakewiwak and Sakewiwak. Did I say that right? Sakewiwak. Headliners were Kevin Westaquate, and Zoe Priceless. And RezX was there.